Can y'all hear me? Mic check, 2 1 2 1. 1 2 1 1 2 1. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Paige and this is Her Trucking Story. And this is Her Story Trucking Podcast. Hey you guys, my name is Paige. Welcome to my podcast. This is officially episode 1. We're finna see how this work, cause I know this ain't what y'all used to, but it's still trucking though. So we're gonna still keep it trucking, but just in a different way. So there are some stories that I have seen going on in the trucking industry that I would like to give my opinion about. And one of the things you guys have asked me about is, what do you do when your brakes go out? And crazy enough, my brakes have went out twice. Well, really 3 times. The third time it happened, I caught it before I left my terminal. But my brakes have went out twice since I've been driving. Thankfully, when they went out, I was on level land. I wasn't going down a hill or going up a hill, which I can only imagine how that feels. But I just saw on the news that a couple days ago, a truck driver was going down Mount Eagle. And if you are familiar with Tennessee, Mount Eagle, the mountain in Mount Eagle is not nothing to play with. I remember my first time driving that in the truck, and I was so scared. And I'm from Chattanooga, and I've traveled up and down Chattanooga to Nashville my whole entire life. So I'm familiar with it. The mountain has gotten better over the years. At first it used to just be a 2-lane highway. Now I believe they have about 5 lanes, and they're still doing construction on it. But it's scary in a truck, you know, especially if you're not used to mountains. Actually, they're not the worst that I've been down, but Mount Eagle is nothing to play with. So yeah, we're gonna watch this video of this truck using what you would call a runaway ramp, and he utilized that while going down Mount Eagle. I'm assuming his brakes went out is the reason why he used it, but I mean, you could go on a runaway ramp for many different reasons, but for the most of the time it's used when your brakes go out. So let's watch this video and then I'll give my opinions afterwards. Okay, it's this flatbed right here, and he's using it. I'm glad he was able to utilize it though. Yeah, people probably slowing down. I see those other truck drivers, they're slowing down. One guy pulled over. It looks like he's pulling over. And as a truck driver, even me, and I know I'm small, but when I see that there's a truck in trouble, I think our instinct is to go help, but sometimes you can't help. So I'm assuming the only thing happened is, you know, his truck probably received some damage, but I mean, hey, damage is better than a life lost, right? I didn't, in the news article, and I'm gonna link the news article down below. They didn't say there were any fatalities, so I'm assuming he's fine. Now, also, they did state that earlier this year a truck driver used the runaway ramp, and I'm assuming that it happens more often than what they report. But particularly with this one, a car also had to get on a runaway ramp, and I'm going to play that video in a second. But let me tell you this, cars, if you're in a car and a truck driver turns on their blinkers, and I don't, in this next video the truck driver didn't have his blinker on, but this is a great example on when a truck has their blinker on. Please get out the way. don't speed up. Just slow down or move out the way, get in the next lane or whatever, because us truck drivers, we have a lot that we have to do. We have to deal with a truck and a trailer, and sometimes two trailers. And somebody's brakes could be going out. We can tell if our brakes are going out because brakes are used by air pressure and not electrical like cars are. And so with a truck using air pressure, our air pressure is going to go down very fast. And if our air pressure is going down very fast on our brakes, that means that our brakes are going out. And if we can see that in our truck and we have our blinkers on, and that means that, we're trying to get over, get out the way. You're speeding up. And then sometimes people, they'll try to pass me, but they're not going fast enough. And so if I'm in trouble, I'm going to get over. And I would rather try to get over than just stop in the middle of the freeway, because that's going to cause more problems than you know. And then sometimes, let me just add this little in, since we talking about trucks getting over and using their blinkers. We're sitting up high, which means that we can see farther than you can imagine. We can see miles and miles depending on how the road is made. And if I see something up ahead, and I've done this millions of times, if I see something up ahead and I'm choosing to get over at that moment, don't stay beside me. What are you doing staying right there? Get out my way. It's been times where I remember there was a car stopped in the freeway, and I saw that car probably about 1.5 miles. I saw him stopped in the freeway, and the cars in front of me weren't moving fast enough. Most likely they weren't moving fast enough. I can't remember exactly what was going on, but all I do know is I had to get on the shoulder to drive around that car because the other cars on the left weren't moving, and then they were stopped in the middle of the freeway. So thankfully nobody was on the shoulder. I had to swerve on the shoulder real quick, go around the car, then get back on the freeway. That's a very quick thinking. That's why as a truck driver, you got to think really, really fast. But let's look at this second video. Okay. Yeah, his brakes are smoking. His trailer brakes are anyways. Look at that car. I bet you they were scared out their mind too. They probably didn't know what was going on. Gosh. I know they were scared. The truck driver was probably scared too, depending on if that was his first time doing it or not. But that car, when you're in a car and you never drove a truck before, that's a different kind of... That's why, what's so crazy, since we're talking about Mount Eagle? I'm trying to think. I think that was the first... That was my... from Nashville to Atlanta was my very first time doing a route. I was still in training when I was with Universal, but that was my very first time doing a route as a truck driver. And my very first day in a truck, driving the whole day, was going down Mount Eagle. And I was so scared. And it's so crazy because the guy that trained me, he was like, just go. Just go. And I think Mount Eagle's speed limit is 45 or 50. I think it's 45. It's been forever since I drove down Mount Eagle in a truck. But I think it's 45. Honey, we were going down that mountain at 75, and he told me to turn on my engine brake and do like I forgot what the braking mechanism is, but basically you just hit your brakes, slow down a little bit, then keep going. And I was driving like that for a while, and then when I got with my new company, and they are very strict when it comes to speeding, so I know I can't drive like that no more. So you guys, use your engine brakes, slow down, make sure do your brake test before you go down that mountain. There is a God, I forgot what it's called, but basically you have to go to the side. I forgot what it's called on Mount Eagle. I'm gonna put it on the screen if I remember it. And basically it's a little parking area for trucks, and then also it's a stoplights, 2 stoplights, and you go through those stoplights. But if you are unsure about your brakes, pull over and check your brakes before going down Mount Eagle, because that ain't no joke. Or you know what, pull over and check your brakes if you're going down any mountain, to be honest, because mountains ain't no joke. And if you don't know how to drive them, if you don't know what to do, if your brakes go out, that's going to be fatality. You might not make out of it. Just being honest. All right, next story is a New Jersey trucking company owner accused of running a Ponzi scheme. Now, we already know these trucking companies, for whatever reason, everybody filing bankrupt. And you know what, I get it. The economy is really, really bad right now. But, I mean, it's a lot of companies filing bankrupt and going out of business. But also, a lot of these companies are going out of business because they have poor money management. And if you have, and they're taking from the company, stealing thousands and thousands, sometimes millions, as this man is doing, stealing all this money and thinking that it's going to fund your lifestyle forever, and it's not. But apparently this guy was running a Ponzi scheme like many others do, and not just in the trucking industry, all these industries. And apparently he was feeding lies to people, telling them, hey, if you invest this dollar amount, it can fund one truck, and I can buy a truck, and whatever profits that truck makes, you're going to get your money back and more. And that's just not how trucking goes. I don't know why he was feeding them those lies. This apparently dated back to about 2019, which, I mean, it's going to take a lot for me to invest about $45,000 to $50,000 to someone that I don't know in an industry that I'm not aware of. His name was Arson Lucier. He scammed over 20 victims, 20 people. I believe some of them were investors, but I'm not for sure what everyone's occupation was. I'm just hoping there weren't no old people that just invested their entire retirement to a person that decided to take their money and not give it back. I don't play about money. I don't care if it's a penny. It's my penny, and don't play with it. He's scammed over $5 million out of these people. He apparently got some bank statements, I believe, in 2021. I'm going to link the article down below. He took his bank statements, y'all. I want y'all to look at these bank statements. So, if y'all can see, he had a dollar amount of $8,767.20. Then there was another dollar amount of $320.76. And what's in the bold, black, italicized numbers, those are the numbers that he added on to his bank statement to make it look like, I guess, there was the balance in his bank statement. So instead of the $8,000 that he had, he changed it to over $1 million. And instead of the $300 he had in there, he changed it to over $900,000. And I just would like to know, where did he get the boldness to do this at? I don't even know. You know what? I was about to say something, but y'all gonna get mad at me. I'm not gonna say it. So let me tell you, that also makes me think about, there are so many people out here selling these dispatch courses and selling these trucking courses. They're saying, oh, hey, if you pay me $600, I'm going to guarantee you over 6 figures within your first 12 months of dispatching, or 6 figures over your first 12 months of trucking. And that's not the case. Like, it's in trucking, it's not guaranteed. If you want to be a dispatcher, I honestly think that a lot of your knowledge can come from YouTube free university. You don't need to pay $500-$600 to learn how to be a dispatcher. And paying $500-$600 to run your own trucking business, if running your own trucking business is a goal that you have in mind, first thing you need to do is become a truck driver. You need to learn how to be a truck driver before you try to run a business. You need to learn the ins and outs. Let me tell you something about me. I don't plan on having my own trucking business. That's just not what the way the trucking industry is. Maybe if it gets better, which I don't think it's going to get better, I would consider it, but not right now. I don't think it. But even with that, you have to build a relationship with certain people. People you see online, people that you see that do have their own authority. Ask them questions. When I'm in the office sometimes, I have that type of relationship with management and people in the office, my billing, clerk workers, and I go in there and I'm always asking them questions about this and this and that, just to get a little knowledge here and there. And that's how you build up your knowledge. That way you can save your $500 or $600 on these trucking and dispatch courses. I feel like those are Ponzi schemes too. But hey, that's just me. That's just my opinion. I'm not trying to step on nobody's feet. But y'all be out here scamming people way too much. All right, so before we go, I just wanted to talk about, I saw a post on Facebook. Someone made a long story post, and I read some of it, but I said, you know what, I want to get my natural reaction from his, I guess, comment or complaint or whatever. And then you guys comment down below, tell me what you think about what he says. Do you agree with it? And I'm going to start from the beginning. I read the beginning part, but I'm going to start from the beginning. So he states that local drivers wonder why they don't get respect from us, and we don't consider them a real trucker. Y'all so MF and rude and ignorant. Why I pull up to my receiver for a drop and hook, and the hours listed in the delivery notes from the receiver themselves specifically say no dropping between 1700 and 0001, which is basically like, I think midnight or something like that. I forgot. Oh, so that obviously means we can drop anytime after midnight and before 5, right? Oh, okay, so glad we cleared that up. So I arrived at 2:30 in the morning just for the gate to be closed. No guard at Garage Shack, and no one answering the phones. There's a gate code listed in the delivery notes as well, but I've looked all around this gate and don't see any kind of box or a keypad to enter a gate code. But a few local trucks were coming and going, and I noticed they were able to open the gate from their trucks. I'm guessing they had remotes like you'd use for your garage door. So I flagged down a driver to ask him how I can get in because I have a dropping hook. But before I could even open my mouth to speak, and without even fully stopping his truck to speak to me, slow rolling by me, he yells out the window, "I can't. They open the gate at 5," and then pulls off. Like, MF, and you can't, what? Stop for 10 seconds so I can ask a simple question? Like, that would put a dent in your schedule or something. And I could understand if they don't up their gates for live loads until 5 a.m. But the notes clearly say no dropping from 5 p.m. to midnight. So dropping hook deliveries should be able to get through before 5 a.m. before they open the gates to everyone else, or at least tell me where I can enter this gate code. But you couldn't stop for 10 seconds and give me the chance to tell you I was a dropping hook and I have a gate code. Must have just assumed I was a live delivery. I literally just been sitting here for over an hour trying to figure out how to get in. Local drivers just passing by me, not even bothering to stop or help me out. I don't understand why y'all be so rude and miserable. And I know there's going to be people in this group with the same rude attitude that's going to say something dumb about this because y'all be just as miserable too. But I just needed to rant because I'm frustrated and this just ruined my whole day. I had another load to pick up after this one, but they gave it to someone else because I won't be able to make it now since I have no other choice but to wait till 5 for this gate to open. Shaking my head. So let's dissect that for one quick second before I let you guys go. Let me just say, I'm a local driver, of course. I've always been local, never been over the road. And I just want to say that this driver, even though he trashed local drivers, this driver is absolutely right. I absolutely agree with him. I would be ticked off too, to be honest. Especially, for instance, there's a shipper that I go to quite often. And us LTL people or locals, we are dropping hook. And they also receive a lot of over-the-road drivers. But just because, let me say this, just because you see someone in a sleeper does not mean that they're over the road. So if a shipper makes a statement, hey, dropping hooks here, over the roads here, okay, that does not mean that someone in a sleeper is not a local driver, or that does not even mean that someone in a sleeper is a dropping hook. You don't know what kind of load they have. And there are people in day cabs that are not dropping hooks either. I do live loads all the time. So I wish people, because at the end of the day, we are all truck drivers. We all just a truck driver in a different way. Some people have endorsements. Some people drive-ins, reefers, flatbeds, box trucks. I mean, there's all types of drivers. Now, I also want to say that he said local drivers don't get respect from us. And then he also said, we don't consider you a real truck driver. Sir, there are guys at my company that have never been over the road and been driving trucks for 30 years. So just because he's never been over the road, he's not a real truck driver. Like, I can understand your frustration. And, people say things that they don't mean when they're frustrated. I'm going to give him some grace because I would be very upset if I was him. But we need to get that out of our heads. Trucking is totally different. And like I said, there's guys at my job that have been driving for 30 years. So being a real truck driver doesn't determine what kind of routes you run every day. Being a real truck driver means that you have the balls to get in a truck and drive it and drive safe and not hit nobody, and you're able to go from point A to point B and go back home every day, or at least park your truck and go to sleep and do your 10-hour or 32-hour reset. That's what a real truck driver is. Don't determine a truck driver based on if they can go home or not. That's stupid. But like I said, every time I see a truck driver and I see that they're a little confused, I'll be like, hey, I need some help. You confused? You good? Whether it's a man or a woman, because even me, even though I'm home every day, I still go to places I've never been. So sometimes it can get confusing. And if I see somebody, whether they're in a sleeper or a day cab, if they look confused, I say, hey, you good? Like the other day, this lady, she was an older lady, and I saw her get in and out of her truck, and I could tell she was trying to pull her kingpin. So where I was going to, I parked my truck where I needed to be, and I got out the truck, and I just grabbed my gloves because I was like, she seemed to, the trailers were really, really tight, so I can tell she couldn't get in between to pull her kingpin. I said, hey, are you good? She's like, I can't pull my kingpin. I said, don't worry about it. I got it. She's like, you sure? I said, yeah, that's fine. So I'm small, and I'm shorter than she was, and she was an older lady. So I said, I just pull it, and I pulled her kingpin, and she unhooked from her trailer. So it does not hurt to help somebody. And sometimes we are in a rush. Sometimes I'm in a rush too. I completely understand. But if you see somebody that's struggling or needs some help, just be like, hey, you good? Even if they clearly need help and they don't want the help, just saying, hey, are you good, can make a difference in someone's day. Because being frustrated, you can't unhook or you can't close or open your doors, that's like, ugh. And then just to hear or see somebody offering some assistance, whether you take it or not, can kind of like calm you down. And you're like, okay, there are good people in the world. So just lend a help. If they confused, tell them, hey, this is what it is. This is what I know when I come here. Or this is the way to go, or it might be easier if you go that way, or hey, I could get out your way, that way you can have some more room. Like simple gestures like that, it literally would not add on to no more time. You literally will be fine. I'm so sick of rude people. I'm so sick of rude people in the trucking industry. It's like, sorry y'all, I had to vent because some of y'all be ready to make me fight. But yes, like I said, this driver is completely right, except the local truck driver did. I don't appreciate that because I've been out here 2.5 years and I done been through some stuff in my 2.5 years as a local truck driver. So put some respect on my name. Don't disrespect me. I hope you was able to get in the gate. I'm hoping that you found your next load, and we're going to keep it pushing. So thank you. This is episode 1 of HERstory Trucking Podcast. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Tell me what you think about these stories that I reported on today. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.